Hey, welcome to my day 3 martial arts monk build update video. I have a ton of updates here today, and I've pretty much upped the damage that I'm doing maybe by 3-4 times what I was doing yesterday. So we're just breezing through all of these tier 15 maps damage wise. So one thing I need to work on this build is still the durability, but in terms of just DPSing everything down, this build is doing it, and we're clearing it really fast. As you can see, the amount of skills that we're using is very low. I've automated getting power charges, and when I say automated, it's really you just need the line on your glove, which is the one right here. Gain a power charge on critical hit. So what this one really is gain an arcane surge when you deal a critical hit. So yeah, when you get this on your glove, it will become a chance to gain power charge, and right now it's 7% chance. I believe this one's just pretty low due to the fact that this is a lower tier glove, as in it's only item level 64, but the one I have right now is providing all 3 damage stats at pretty good tiers, so it's adding a lot of extra damage. This one is missing a lot of like evasion and energy shield. So what I plan to probably do is phase out one of the extra damage lines, so either cold or lightning. And what I'll do is get the plus evasion per player level. So you're also seeing that when I bought this already had the runic ward on it. So it's also further sacrificing the energy shield for runic ward. But anyways, with a lot of the changes I've done, we can see that the DPS on Whirling Assault is now up to 24,000. I believe it was somewhere around 10 to 12,000 yesterday, so just it's a raw double on Whirling Assault. But because we're also adding charged staff here, this is adding a metric ton of damage with every hit. So you can see that average damage per use is 5,000, but in practice it's even higher because it's adding lightning base damage to the weapon. So I'm getting about 5 power charges, so each one is adding about another 100 lightning, 1 to 100 lightning damage per hit. So it's adding a ton of damage, so we'll definitely see that when I go into a map later to show you guys. But here's what the stats currently look like. Pretty unhappy with where the energy shield is at. Mana isn't too high either, and our evasion is pretty mediocre across the board. I'm sitting at 145 spirit. My next plan is to check and test how it feels to go without Herald of Thunder. I'm not actually too sure how much Herald of Thunder is doing here, but by removing that, we can get another line of defensive stats in the prefixes on the basically the body armor, which will add a lot of survivability. The next thing you'll also notice is that my chaos res is only 24. I plan to try to get more of that on the body piece or on my rings, which I can increase with ingenuity. Other changes from yesterday is that kind of upgraded the staff. Basically, you still just want as much physical DPS as you can with crit on it, and you definitely want this gothic slash sinister quarterstaff. Looks like there aren't a lot of gothic quarterstaffs out yet, so sinister quarterstaffs will have to do. I am still using thrill steel. I'll probably have to think about phasing this out just for more stats, because I think while it is really nice to have the movement speed and skill speed, it's really hitting me defensively. So need to see if I can stop dying as much tomorrow, and if not, I'll have to look to try to get rid of this, despite this actually feeling absolutely amazing to use. With the amulet, I got a new one. Got +3 melee skill levels on this one, as well as some chaos resistance. A little bit of energy shield and evasion on this piece with a dead mana line. This is just a res stat stick here. Has some evasion, a little bit of damage on it, but this is really just providing me most of the resistances. Hope to move some of those onto other pieces. And then this is my damage ring for now. The key line is you really do need to leech physical damage as mana, or you will have mana problems. For the gloves, I think I showed this earlier, but here's what it looks like raw. I'd say the really core stats are the Arcane Surge on hit. The rest of the stats are a little bit more negligible. You definitely want to have at least one damage prefix and the Arcane Surge, and then you can probably call it a day based on your budget. I do think these start at 7 Divines. So you might be able to pick one up for cheaper if you keep a live search out. I see some drop for like 5. But this is kind of the core piece for the build for now, and because this is a crafted line, because it has to be a desecrated line, everyone who hits this knows it's going to be worth something, so you're not going to find it that much cheaper. 2 lines in the suffixes that would be really good is attack speed, which will give you percent chance for onslaught. That will let you easily replace the helm and get something else, so that will be the next thing there, as well as crit damage. Yeah, crit damage, because crit damage gets converted to crit chance, so it's just all around great damage stat. So leaving this there for now, just because of the immense damage it provides, but I'll definitely look to replace this in the near future. The boots, just I think this was the same as yesterday. I'll probably take a look to see if I can get anything better. I usually like to get chaos resistance on the boot, but this early in the league it might be extremely expensive. I did get my 4th ascendancy today as well, so basically got the runic tattoos. I tried out what's it called, Way of the Mountain. Was not really immobilizing that much, and it was having a hard time keeping those stacks up. So the runes here are really good. For the helmet, I am using 2% increased experience. I'm also using the rune of warding. So basically, curses have 0 effect on this build, which is absolutely amazing, and the rest are just reses right now, so that's how I am res fixing. For ingenuity, I think this is just get a decent one that has flask slots and a decent number to either of your rings. So I think that's probably the best belt you can get on a decently small budget right now, so that's what I recommend. Moving on, just going to briefly go over the skill gems that, or support gems I'm using on my skills. So I don't think hollow focus is really going to be a main thing, so I'm just going to hover over each of these here. It's really an auxiliary skill, so most of these don't even really matter. For hollow resonance, I added Uruk smelting so that 1, they'll permanently take 5% more damage, but 2, it just breaks the armor a lot faster with armor break 3. I added heft in here just to do a little bit more damage, and then I think these 2 are the same as yesterday. For Whirling Assault, here are the support gems. Tried out a bunch of other stuff, but basically these 2 for damage, this one for rage, and this one for damage, working out pretty nicely here. For Tempest Spell, I also added a Perfect Jewelers on this one today, and basically just threw heft on. The rest, I am using Lightning Attunement here. Well, that is something I might want to take out, but I haven't decided on what I would replace with that yet, so I am leaving Lightning Attunement on there just so I can more easily build up Shock. For Charge Staff, Prolonged Duration, Blazing Critical, Innervate, Pinpoint Critical, and Elemental Ornament. I think these are mostly self-explanatory. Just extra fire damage is really good. Having that last longer is just quality of life. Getting 25% lightning damage for 5 seconds when you kill a shocked enemy is just really good for mapping. This is something I might want to change later since it doesn't provide too much on bossing. So it's pretty conditional. But yeah, I'm curious if this works on the focus spells. I'm not sure though. For Herald of Thunder, this is something I'm just gonna try moving tomorrow, so I wouldn't put too much weight on what I have here. I'm not using charge regulation with the gloves. You will have charges, and also what's really nice with Hollow Resonance is that you have a 20% chance to get an endurance charge. So endurance charges are also providing 20% more evasion and energy shield for this build, which is really, really nice, and will almost always have more crit hit chance, which is also just spectacular. And note that these are more bonuses, so It's multiplicative and not additive with everything else. I think Ghost Dance remains the same. For Wind Dancer, I pretty much just added a bunch of supports here. Doesn't really matter too much, it's just to keep the evasion up a little bit higher. I made a ton of changes on the tree as well. Trying to focus on getting some more damage at first, but now I've shifted to try to get some more durability. Now that I have damage a little bit more fixed, which almost all of that damage comes from just being able to use charge staff on the fly whenever you want and almost have it permanently up the entire map, but just besides the first few hits when you get on the map. So the biggest ones here is I'm taking some AoE here. Debatably if I like these or not. They're not terrible, but I'm not overly impressed. This is the new one here to get extra power charges. Each power charge also adds another 10 seconds onto charge staff. So maybe I'll be testing getting power within tomorrow here, which will add another 10 seconds when you get up to 6 stacks, which is really nice. So I have the points here to get the crit hit chance, as well as his jewel socket. Debatably good. I need to see if I really like this. This is a decent amount of points. We do get another jewel socket, which is really nice, but otherwise I'm only getting crit chance here. I felt that these I had yesterday with the dazes just wasn't really doing any work, so I took them out. I also took out Whirling Assault here because the attack speed just wasn't really necessary, and then knocking back of enemies didn't really matter too much. This node is quite nice in of itself, but yeah, it just wasn't worth the points to take these over here. These points right here are probably one of the best value points that you can get with the 18 bonus. Everywhere else it's always 15%, so these are really value just for the single point in of itself. This one is kind of quality of life, so you get one additional power charge, but it doesn't go over your cap. So if you have 4 power charges and consume it, you get 5, but if you have 5, it doesn't bring you to 6, so it's not like that impressive. So if anything, these are just like really good 2 points to put in if you're not doing anything else with them. And then I grabbed these points here for bossing, so just a little bit of extra damage here on the boss. And this one right here is just at 8% extra physical is quite good. And then we are armor breaking the boss, so getting some more additional physical damage on the boss is pretty good. And these kind of just increase the rate we break the boss. I'm still leaving these dazed ones because I think these are quite value for now. I will experiment taking them off and seeing where else I can put those points. And let's see, the last change I also did was I grabbed these here just to get some more energy shield to kind of increase the one hit max HP that this build can have. But it definitely still struggles sometimes in combat, where if you're standing on a lot of ground effects, you're not really getting that energy shield recharge going. So then you're kind of just stuck with life. So I still need to see what I want to do about that, because I think the nerfs to Ghost Shroud being every 8 seconds on cooldown is pretty rough. Like, this thing is almost never up, especially with all the ground effects constantly proccing it, or just basically keeping your energy shield recharged down. For the Atlas tree, I am just selecting random things. This is just what it is. I will not say that this is either good or bad, and ignore this little button, it's a bug. Points. So you can see that actually using Whirling Assault almost uses a little over a third of your mana. So you'll see that's how much work the mana leech is providing here. So I'm gonna run this Alkt map. It's basically just a little bit of extra damage, a little evasion. Basically, they're gonna not get shocked so often, and then on these tablets, they're gonna be a little bit more effective. And I think that's about it on this one. This one's gonna be relatively straightforward. Nothing, no shenanigans on this one. So just gonna keep it pretty simple, so don't have to worry about it too much. It is like 3 a.m. so the brain isn't full capacity. So you can see I'm going to basically just spin over here, and you can see that the power charges just start coming in. It definitely charges way faster as you get through the mobs because you get a lot more hits. So yeah, just gonna spin a bit, and then once you're basically, you can also use it any time. See that sound effects are really annoying, honestly, but you always have these charges, so you can pretty much permanently keep up what's it called, charge that kind of all times once you kind of just like added it in. Damage wise, everything just kind of gets cut down like butter. Here's a rare, that's another slot, another bell. Let's see. I'll just take a unique jewel for fun. And it's gone. So damage wise, feels really nice right now. And then realistically, it's pressing middle click once like every 50 seconds. So while it isn't like, you know, it is pressing another button, it is only once a minute, so yeah, it'll have to do. So another thing you can notice is that how fast the mana reaches back up. Basically the physical damage of the mana leech is really using it for a mana sustain. So that's why that line is so key. So I usually just drop a bell in the middle and pull this back faster. You get the charge staff. Yeah, pretty much charge staff is really easy to do now. Originally I was like doing some siphoning strike or something basically bullshit that was just really annoying. Like you would have to like do it before you started a boss fight. It was just so much extra work. So this boss here. And you can basically kill it again here. Be careful with these class damagers. Very low fast. Oh, I'm surprised I didn't get a respawn there. It's unfortunate. So we've gone added to the next one as well. Ultimately with this build, it's just kind of like do all the DPS with all the ground things. For this, Whirling Assault also still, you can kind of get stuck sometimes. That's a little bit annoying. If the damage really high, everything just kind of dies as it spawns, in theory. Besides that's why the runic, oh, here's the boss. God, why is it so fast? Memory, I'm just saying as well, and then taking memory damage too.
Each battle teaches, each step reveals.
But oh, you can't add to the miss here. Probably because yeah, I guess this is the zone for it. So just grab some of these random things, whatever. I think that is the map. So as you can see, the damage is quite good. Very low like pressure in terms of just doing the damage. I'd say the things that are pretty stressful right now are the rune strong boxes. I guess they're not really strong boxes. The runic whatever's. The leak mechanic. When they have like the ability that you have to kill all of like everything else before you can kill the rare. That one's really nasty, especially if they have a bunch of like temporal bubbles on some of like those flies. They're just really gross. So still have to be very careful. So I think the next thing is getting that defensive layers stacked, and then hopefully get some better gloves. I think that's where I'm going to keep most of my budget, is to constantly try to improve this glove. I think for weapons, at least right now, I haven't seen too many other weapons that are basically going to add a significant amount of damage. I think damage is mostly okay right now anyways. So I think getting onslaught onto the gloves, which is attack speed again, as well as one of the damage lines being replaced with energy shield and evasion, will just really up the survivability, and then obviously just getting chaos resistance. So that's what I'll be looking for tomorrow. But I hope you enjoyed the video. I've been having a lot of fun today trying to figure out the damage, and basically getting power charges on kill, or sorry, on crit is really where this build starts to shine, especially with charge staff just kind of annihilating everything on the map. So with that, yeah, please like and subscribe. See you in the comments if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.